Wait, is this? Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. We are live. Hey, everybody. So I hope you can hear me really good, but we're live. I'm Allegra, the marketing medulla. I have Miss TeeCee Okore here. I love saying her name like that. So we're going to be doing our last week of the data challenge this month. We missed last week because of me. I was like, I'm tired, y'all. I'm pooped. I got enough to do, and my clients are in high volume this season. So I wanted to make sure that I took a little bit of a break. TC has been rocking and rolling herself, so y'all probably see her everywhere. Which, no pun intended, because I'm still gonna win. Doesn't matter. We're in the middle of our data competition. The challenge above all challenges, TC, because how about I personally have been invigorated through this entire month. No matter how tired I was, I still got like very excited, especially looking at the numbers. Like I was looking at the impressions. I learned a lot from what our conversation we were having while we were showing everyone the screen shares. And it also, and I saw you posted and you were like, well, I'm now encouraged to go look at my numbers over here. And do you know that I went and started posting more on Pinterest because my numbers were looking so good on LinkedIn? I was like, and I had all these like amazing classes. I'm like, okay, because what did we say we are going to do next? We said LinkedIn this month, but then it was something you mentioned. So go ahead, TC, something you mentioned. Oh,
So
I
I
can't hear you,
think
girl.
I
Oh,
think
there
I
she go.
said Instagram. I think it was Instagram. We said we're going to do next, right? And the truth is, so last week was a whole lot, right? And but I did my bit. But the good part about the challenge is the fact that typically, because of the way I was feeling about the challenge, um, that happened last week, this challenge as well, I would have just relaxed and not done anything because that was how I was feeling. All I just wanted to do was, attend to my business, attend to my clients, and just get down to the end of the week, right? But considering this challenge was up, I think I did a couple of work, but I have something I want to share because it made me understand something. Now, if you are watching this on the replay or live, I need you to comment and then correct me if I'm wrong. But I noticed a couple of things. I noticed I'm going to share with you what I did. I'm going to share with you what I did not, and I'm going to share with you why whatever results you get to see, um, you know, showed up for itself. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to do the next 14 days or we're going to do just 7 days. Which are we
Yeah,
going to
why
do?
wouldn't
14
we?
days, right? All right.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Or should we do the whole month now? Because technically, at the end of the month, we're doing the whole thing. So let's do the whole month.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Okay.
I can't wait to see what TC learned, y'all. Like we literally, I feel like we literally help each other this way too. And sometimes people look at competition as a way where it's something that they feel, like they're not motivated by. So I get it. Everyone's not motivated by competition, but find what you're motivated by. I personally am motivated by competition. Early in the day, I was like a track runner, right? I competed a lot in like band and choir and classical. I did everything, y'all. So I was just one of those type of people where it was like, if there's something going on and I could win, I want to win. And TC and I did this competition just to really look at something more intentionally, like the numbers that we talk about, our data. And I think that, and TC, I think you told me this before. You said people don't care about data. I was like, oh, okay. Well, they care about sales, they care about results, right? So if you don't care about data, then that means that you're not actually like guiding yourself towards the results because you don't see what's happening behind the scenes. You just are guessing. So when we showed from the behind the scenes and we screen shared the last time, not this last week, but the week before, I thought it was absolutely amazing because the more I looked at the numbers, the more I actually spoke about it, it gave so much clarity around even some things that you knew and that you didn't even think further through. Like how can I take my data and not manipulate it, but use it to reach more people of, who I want to reach. Because we were looking at our demographics back there. It wasn't just like how many impressions we had. It wasn't just how many likes. Because we really, really like to do the whole social media thing. We're like, oh, how many likes did you get? Likes are great, but what else is happening? Like, how many people are actually seeing it that aren't liking it? How many people are like peeping, like who's creeping in the window, like who's back there, and how do you reach those people so that you can bring them to the forefront, right? Sometimes you have to be the person to know that someone's constantly looking because you can see the data, and that way what you can do. Oh, hold on, let me add you, TC. You want me to add this one? Oh, and then what you can do is you can actually, take your data week by week. You can take that information and you can use it to benefit your audience, benefit your company. But if you're not looking at all the data and you're just going by what people tell you, which is what we have been in this whole social media society, then we look at a very small window of what our results are going to be. And I was just talking about this too, TC, because I know you're going to share your screen and show us. But listen, there's over 7 billion people in the world, y'all. 7 billion people, and about 62% of them are on social media. And if you're looking at the fact that, and I mean, that's not all of them, so you still got more people out there that are actively on social media looking for you, but you have to understand that they're still there. And everyone's not actively engaged. Like I was talking to my boyfriend, he was like, how do you use this again? I'm like, you don't know how to use that app, So it's not about age or experience or anything. It's about understanding. And the more clear we are about what we're doing behind the scenes in our business, the better we are to be equipped to go out there and make the sale and have the conversations and to, tell people like what is really going on in our business without actually being unsure and lacking confidence. And this is really where a lot of that confidence comes from, right? Like knowing your data. No one can lie to you if you know your data. But go ahead, TC. I think I've done my spiel.
No, I like that because that's an amazing breakdown. Please help me put up my screen so it can show up. But I feel like that's an amazing breakdown, which is very important. And why I also feel that it's important that we do this because I know that we have this whole idea that small accounts are not making money. But you see, the truth is, in my past few months of being active on LinkedIn, one thing I realized is that it's not about the numbers, it's the quality. Same way with your email marketing, right? Because or rather everywhere now I have huge accounts, 10K, 20K, 50K, coming to me to help them monetize their following, and so it doesn't move me. What moves me is what is your numbers giving you, right? What is it bringing to the table? How are you able to work the numbers, right? Just having the numbers is not really good enough because numbers sometimes can be manipulated. Now, that's a different ballgame entirely. Now, the truth is, how do you work these numbers to make you that money, or how do you work these numbers to give you the results that you desire? Now, results can vary. Results can be awareness. Results can be credibility. Results can be, whatever. Okay. Results can be money, and it is not a problem um, if you tell yourself, you know what, right now I've gotten to a stage in my life, in my business, when I want to start to make money off from my following. It is an amazing objective, an amazing goal. So it's nothing for you to shy about. I get this thing always where people come to my DM and they'll be like, "Oh, I need help in my business," and then you'll be like, "Okay, what specific help do you need?" Because you can't come to me and say you need help. You need to be very specific because I can help you different ways, right? So tell me what you need help with, and then I noticed that so many of us shy away from just saying that we want to monetize, which is what it is. When it's a I don't know how to explain this thing, yo, but it's a good feeling, right? When you're able to monetize your followings, your knowledge, your skills, your all of that. So if that's your goal for your LinkedIn account, go for it, right? And you can literally start to monetize, from 250, I think it's like 250 or 300. So um, um, let's just make it good, right? So work your way between 300, 500, and from 500, I can tell you officially that you should focus on monetizing. You should focus on expanding. You should focus on reaching the people that that resonates with the vision that you've more or less designed and mapped out, right? You don't have to wait till you're 10,000. And I guess that's why this is good, right? Because we're getting results and we are here to let you know that it's about the quality. And we're not just saying it and putting a pretty picture up there so that you see the pretty faces, but we're showing you the behind the scenes so that when we say this is it, it's what it is, right? We're not just saying it, we're showing you, which I feel it's enough for you to make a decision on what exactly you want to do with your LinkedIn account. All right.
Yeah.
Um, so this is like the last week for the challenge. Woo-hoo. Finally got
Who
here.
won?
Gosh. Finally, y'all, but it's been an amazing experience so far, right? Now, this is 28 days, and we are literally comparing 28 like this month to last month. And I will tell you that the challenge, you know, as you can see, right, the challenge was a very good push. Um, Hold on. Okay, so as you can see, the challenge was a very good push to my account. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, these things are not that easy, right? Especially with LinkedIn, because personally, some of us like to do the dirty work so that we're able to teach you, right? Because we need to
Wait,
get our
what was
hands
happening
dirty.
on the 15th? What was happening on the, was that the 16th?
Yeah, girl, I don't know what happened.
Give
I,
me,
you know, I wanted.
but look, like,
Let me check. Something happened on the
well,
16th. Let me see what day 16 was.
I'm really
Hold on.
curious, only because I like to dissect at this point. We know that you're not 30 days is not a long time, y'all. Like, if we really want to be honest, if you're building on anything from social media, because you can monetize as an influencer. For a long time, TC, people don't realize that I've built up my social media accounts, and all I kept doing was building up to see quality engagement, but I was doing a lot of tests. So I was pushing a lot of content out, right? I was using a lot of different hashtag sets. I was, taking people from different social media sites and bringing them back to my Instagram, putting them over to my Facebook, right? So I was doing all these things. And what happened was so crazy is that I started monetizing, and 1 month, it was like I just made $12,000 out of nowhere. Like, there's no limit to your success when you are moving in this direction with data. So I want to emphasize that, because everyone's goal is not to make money, but it doesn't hurt if you make it while you're getting to your goal.
Right? Mhm.
It
Yeah.
doesn't hurt, because that's one of the things I think people overlook. We're so caught up in the, I want to make money, or I want to do this, instead of enjoying what you're actually doing. And that's why I think this competition for me, TC, that's what that brings out for me, because while I enjoy doing what I'm doing, I make money every single time. When I start to think so hard about, like, how do I do it and how do I make money, and oh, what was me, that's when it becomes difficult to make the money. So, just looking at the numbers and seeing, like, in 28 days, yes, you did have an increase, but of course that increase is going to be steady, because you're posting for quality, as you said, opposed to, someone like myself who was testing. Yeah, all these people were sitting in my database, but then after that I got to pick and choose who I wanted to deal with. So I just wanted to emphasize that a little bit, because there's different ways to think about this, and people have to choose on what's the best way for them.
I agree. I agree, and you're so right. So you're so right. And going from the data, y'all, I'm literally going to have to check what happened on Tuesday, because Tuesday was crazy. Um, I'm going to go back and see what happened on
Click on it.
Tuesday.
I gotta see. I gotta see.
The thing is, I actually haven't checked this, and that's because we're coming here. So I didn't see a need to check it until now. But looking at it now, yo, like I literally need to go back and see what
What the
happened.
heck was that?
On Tuesday was on the 16th. This was on the 16th. Like it literally just spiked. Now, to my point, there are certain things that get you impressions, that get you engagement. If you are working on a, depending on what your objectives are, you want to go back to your data like we just did, right? And figure out what is giving you that consistent. If you noticed, my thing is kind of consistent. It goes like almost on the same um, so what this is saying is I need to do more work, right? Now, going from this impression is telling me that I need to do more of engaging, right? Which was basically what it was for last week. I didn't do, I literally did zero engagement, right? Because, yo,
You was tired.
what, oh my gosh, I don't want to
See,
use,
the race
I,
is never about how good you are. It's about who's going to be on the treadmill the longest. I'm
okay,
sorry, y'all. I can't with it because go ahead.
okay,
Just
so
ignore me.
don't pay attention to like okay, literally don't pay attention to like let's
I'm
okay
just
don't
messing.
so this is just basically
Let me
right.
remind myself.
So you want to go back and see what worked for you last week. Now what basically I noticed worked this month is the fact that that's aside from last week anyway, is the fact that I was intentional with posting, I was intentional with engaging, but I realized that two things does it on LinkedIn: quality content and engagement. Now, quality content will get you clients, engagement will bring new eyeballs to your quality content that would convert into clients. So, you see, at the end of the day, it works like both ways. You can't do one and leave one. You need to do the both, right? Because I know that I actually got about, I think about four clients um, from LinkedIn, but from LinkedIn this month. And the truth is, it's a mix of, that's aside from the challenge. Okay, I had a couple of people from the challenge from LinkedIn as well. And I will give it up for obviously quality content and the engagement. And just so you know, right, you want to do a mix of both. You want to do a mix of your awareness content, which is basically you know educational, authentic educational content. So I want to use the word authentic because what I see that so many business owners, coaches, consultants keep doing is the fact that you want to literally copy and paste. Okay, copy and paste stuff that we can literally read off from YouTube, stuff that we can easily get. So don't do that. Don't do that because it might bring in the impression, but it might not necessarily translate into clients, right? Or sales. So you want to be watchful. Obviously people would relate to it because oh my gosh, I saw it somewhere else. Yeah, yeah, oh yes, girl, go queen, you're doing it. Yeah, and that's because they've seen it somewhere else. So it's more or less like a revision of a copy and paste stuff you just took off from somewhere. So you want to make sure that even when you are building up with your engaged what's the name, your awareness content, which is basically your educational, informational, and all of that. Make sure that it's authentic, it's original, right? Make sure that you're able to let people feel your voice, let them hear you, from the content. And another thing that I notice personally when it comes down to content, content performance is the fact that if you depending on what your goal is, right? Make sure that you're creating content. That's why everyone needs a content strategy. Now, with your content strategy, you're able to understand that there are content for different objective, right? If you are going to be, if your goal this month is to expand on your awareness, there's a different content for it. If you have a launch that you're going to be having, which invariably you want to make sales, there's a different kind of content, right? I know somebody has asked me in the past, oh, TC, you have a small following. How come you get clients on LinkedIn? And I'm like, this is the, have you seen my content? Like some of you want to hide the fact that you're
So
selling
I'm
something
curious
that,
though, TC, how many followers do you need to have to make a sale? Is there a rule book somewhere that I don't know about? Just
I don't
wondering.
know. I don't know where people get the information that they get, And I feel like that's I feel like that's one amazing thing about this challenge, this competition, this whole thing. Why? Because it's important that we show people that you want to be able to start from where you are. If you are not able to work the community that you currently have, be it 500, be it 200, you can't work a 10,000 community. Like literally, the more people you start to get, the more difficult it is to actually engage them, right? And get them to react. If you can't get people, your 1,000 people, or your 800 people, or your 500 people, your 200 people to react, right? And maybe take a certain action. Trust me, you can't command such authority on 10,000, 20,000. You just keep speaking to dust. Literally, you have a couple of people in your space and you're not able to do anything. So I would say personally, learn.
What was you gonna say, TC? Learn what? Wait, where you go? Where'd you go, girl? Okay, hold on. Let me see. Okay. Y'all give us a second while TC gets back. She's gonna come back in a moment. She was preaching though. And let us know that you're here. Give us some hearts. Let us know that you're listening. And also tell us if you are also checking your data and what that looks like. Because what TC is saying is so powerful that if you don't actually check your data, like we haven't looked at our data all week. I haven't. TC says she hasn't. So we haven't looked at our data all week. I personally don't want to look at my data because it does, it gives me a little bit of anxiety throughout the week because it makes me want to feel like I want to do something. So give it like 7 days at least and then check it like we're doing and then go over some of the things that we're doing. Come on, TC, come on up. Yeah. Oh, is this the right one? This
Um,
is not the right one.
yeah, okay, hold on. Let me, no, hold on. Let me share my screen
Okay.
again.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can go with what you were saying so I can share the screen.
Yeah, I was just telling them that, when it, well, to backtrack what I was actually saying. The thing about the conversion part that I'm really excited about though, TC, is like the way you're talking about how we can teach everything that we do in our activities every single day, right? Because you talked about content strategy. Like I really want to understand where people get confused about that because when you said that we kind of mimic what other people are doing, I think that comes from a place where people didn't have a business before the pandemic, or they just didn't have like a really good strategy or didn't really know how to market it well. But once we started to become more like indoor, I saw that there was like a conglomerate of just the same type of marketing, just over and over and over again, just the same type of marketing, just people copying, copying, copying. And then what I did also notice was that there were people that were completely authentic. Like no matter what was going on in the market in the world, they were sticking to their goal, which was why they were actually posting. So if someone was going through something like, let's take Mel Robbins, for example. Mel came out and she was like, everyone's like, do a podcast, talk about these things. You're really good at that, right? But if Mel would have looked at what everybody else was doing and did what they were doing, we would never have Mel Robbins today like we do. So sometimes we have to realize that our authenticity and the things and the ideas that we have and the creativity that we have inside of ourselves are actually there for us to expel onto other people so that they can see what's inside. But if we hide that and try to mimic what someone else is doing, it will never come off as authentically as it does for them. So that's why you see a lot of people that will try the same things that other people do, and they won't actually count the cost, right? They won't actually see, like, does this fit me? Does this feel good? They're not in tune. And so when they don't get the results, they get very frustrated. Like, I tried it and it didn't work. Well, it didn't work because you weren't being you. And TC, you said it over and over and over again. The people, when they buy, they're gonna buy from you. When you do lead generation and when you go out there and make new sales and get new clients, they're buying from you. They see you. So if you're not able to be authentically you, then what makes you separate from everyone else in the market? Why should they buy from you? That's kind of like where I was at with that. Like, just be authentic self, because it just don't work. It doesn't work, and it hasn't been for a lot of people. And I think that we have seen where the frustration has been at top tier at this point. So let's make the changes. Like, anyone who's even listening to this broadcast and you're like, yeah, like, I do feel like it's frustrating and I have tried it everybody else's way. Well, have you tried it your way? Have you tried it the way that deep down inside of you, that silent knowing that this is what you want to say, this is how you want to say it, not worried about being judged, not worried about being embarrassed, not worrying about what people are going to tell you how to do it right or wrong, but actually getting support systems around you to guide you in the direction you want to go. This is a thinking method. This is a mindset. And so until you get that mindset shift, unfortunately, a lot of this stuff will be on repeat. But for those of you who are in that space where your mind is shifted and you know where you want to grow, then we want to help you look at that data, and we want to make sure that you're authentic in how you're showing up in the world. But go ahead, TC. I just wanted to finish that.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen again, yo, but just give me like 1 second. I'm not sure why my other screen just keeps going in and out. But I wanted to say something to what you were talking about earlier, Allegra. And, you know, I, so last week, right? Obviously, after like the after like the challenge, you want to get like feedbacks, why did you join and all of those, all of those things, right? And I remember I was actually doing that, and I just wanted to find out from, because it was the first, right? I know I didn't say this earlier, but it was like the first ever official challenge that personally I have had for my business. Like, I have, you know, built challenges, design challenges for my client, but personally for me, I think I have to say to myself, you know what? How about you? Because it's a different thing. It's a different, it's one thing to even have a free challenge, another thing to have a paid challenge. It's different. Y'all, see, if you are doing something for yourself, right? Try to do it for somebody else, right? No, if you're doing, no, that's not it. If you're doing something for somebody else, okay, try to do it for yourself. Now, if you can pull it off, doing it for yourself, you're good. Like, literally nobody can tell you nothing. You are amazing, because I literally got so exhausted yesterday, sorry, last week, and I said to myself, TC, you're good. Like, I said that to myself, and I'm, you know what, at this junction, even if I don't show up on social media, I'm good.
I
you
think
know
we saw. I think we saw you. I think we saw you. I saw the virtual, the virtual recap, the virtual meetup recap. And child, listen, when TC throws her face on that screen, the way she would throw her face on there, y'all don't get what you get. So I already knew. I already knew it was that week. I was like, oh, it's that week. Here, get my face. And listen, no hair at that. Like, TC was like how I am under this hair, y'all. No, child. Sometimes you got to show up like that, though. Here's the real truth. Sometimes you have to show up like that. People are really scared, and I'm proud of you, TC, for doing that challenge, because and I do think that if we're going to do something for someone else, we should do that for ourselves. If we haven't already done it, Do it for yourself while you're doing it with that person. Because what's really funny is that, I think 9 to 5 mentality, this is something I've been working in my mastery membership about. Your 9 to 5 mentality has been with you for your entire life. Like, that's just the truth. So to change that 9 to 5 mentality over, that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother ball game. So you really have to be in a place to do that. And I just feel like when you show up, regardless of how you feel, how you look, what's going on, what it does is it proves to people that you're there for them. It proves to people that you're not so caught up in your image, but more so you're caught up in their transformation. And there's something magical about that. And people will judge it, right? People will judge it. And that's why some people will show up and they'll feel like, oh, I can't show up like that because you don't want to be judged. But you do. You do. Because at the end of the day, when you get to that next level in your business, when you get to that next level of success in your life, you're going to have people that aren't going to understand it. They aren't going to be able to go with you, right? So you can't people please everybody anyway. So what if you get judged? Show up. So what if you feel like you're not having a great day? Show up. So what if your hair's not done? Show up. And I guarantee you, the days that you don't feel like showing up are the days you'll get results. But TC, I'm proud of you because that challenge, I never would have thought it would be your first one.
Yeah, it was. So the thing is, when I said that, like after like the challenge, and I said it, people were like, "Oh wow!" Because you see, this is what I said. I said, so I've built hundreds, right, of challenges for my clients. But the truth, Allegra, is like paid challenges, because I noticed that having a paid challenge and a free challenge, which is what people mostly do, right, as lead magnets, is a total different dynamics on its own, right? Like the content, the resources, all that you put is totally different. And I didn't want to do like I already give free content. I'm not about to give my energy for that for free. I'm not doing that. Okay. And because I know that, even if I say I'm going to do, no, I don't want to do that because I don't want to give you a half baked, help or support, right? And I'm like, should I do this? I'm like, you know what? Just do it. Well, what's the
Mhm,
worst that's gonna happen, right? I've done it for so many people. I can do it for myself. But girl, that
mhm,
challenge challenged me.
mhm. And you know what? I think that as you go through
Go.
those types of situations, you'll find ways to make it better next time. Like every time, this is a testament to also, and we'll get back to the data competition, y'all, because this is a real conversation for a lot of people who, because I was just having conversations with a couple of business owners earlier today that we're doing business within the women community. And, they got real businesses like brick and mortars out here making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay. And they're just, you have to challenge yourself to do things that are new and different, and you have to do it fast. When people go, "Oh, I'll wait," or when people go, "Oh, I'm not ready," or like some of the conversations I've been having lately, and I'm like, "Y'all are not my people." When you say, "Oh, well, I just don't have time right now," or "I just gotta wait for something to happen," listen, you are not my people because at the end of the day, time is not gonna wait for you. So why are you waiting for it? Why are you waiting for anything? So when I think about, all the new things that you can learn and experience, like I think I heard somebody say they get anxiety when they go into libraries because they want to read all the books, but there's too many to read. So get started, right? And I think that I'm a nerd. I just down the heart, I'm a nerd. I love books. I love data. I love, reading, writing. I still write in penmanship and cursive. I still do all those things. I just believe that those are real good mechanisms to exercise your brain, to exercise your body still, right? Like I like moving my hands and writing in different ways. I'm actually going to probably learn calligraphy soon. But I think like even that, right? Like challenging yourself to learn something new that would be fun for you educationally. But if
Yeah,
you
right.
find something in your business that you're not doing and you're like, yeah, I got to get that done, do it now. Like, do it bad, do it, get support, get mentorship, get a coach, get a consult, get whoever you need, get a friend, get a family member. I don't care. Do it. Because the longer you wait to do something, the harder it will be.
True.
But it
That's
gets
true.
easy over time. When's the next challenge?
Girl, let me survive this first.
Trying to recover.
you know, I'm gonna tell you something that happened. So, on Friday, so on Friday took Monday. Okay, it was Friday your time, but it was already Saturday my time, right? And
Mhm.
one of the so we have like this group. The group is still on, and so the ladies in the group was like, "Oh, when I'm gonna have the next challenge?" I'm like, I did a video and I said to them, and I said to them, "Yo, this challenge challenged me. So let's wait. let's let's absorb."
But but doesn't that make you? But see, for me, see, I can't. Y'all can't mess with me on this one because TC is nice with y'all. But see, let me have done that challenge and got done the way that TC got done. I've been like, so guess what, y'all? Okay, I'm not doing another challenge for another 6 months, but I will teach you how to do one, and I will upload you on my package because now I know how to do it better. So let's go. And I think that you have to kind of maneuver and know how to build your packages in your business. Like to me, I'm not big TC on having to back to back to back anything because how you make money and how you deem to do that in your business is up to you. You can have multiple streams of revenue coming from different product lines and service lines, and you can have products and services in your business. You don't have to be limited to one. I mean, someone just asked me on Instagram, they were trying to like, girl, listen, check me any day. I love when people check me because when you check me, that means I can come back with an answer. And people usually don't like my answer. But I will say this: when I was on Instagram, someone said, I'm talking to you, right? Because they were talking about doing an ebook or something. And they was like checking people in the comments. So, I'm an engager. So I'm like, ooh, girl, fire emojis, right? And she's like, I'm talking about you. And I was like, what do you mean me? I was like, you mean, oh, these that I got over here? And she's like, well, I don't ever see them. Oh, because you got to pay $20,000 to get in there. So no, you won't see them. Sorry. And I think that at the end of the day, and I have different things. Like I have a $99 membership. I have things in my shop that you can buy from, I think like $29 and up 29.49. There's things that you can get, right? And people buy stuff where they are. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that, our job is not to appease anyone in our business. Our job is to provide. And when people have a need, like when I see people have a need, they pay whatever they got to pay. They pay whatever they have to pay. When they need it, they want it, they go get it. So don't waste time with people or don't waste time on things that are going to stress you out in business because you can adequately assort your strategy and your process to make sure that you know when you want to pick up certain prices in packaging. Because right now, TC, I done left some of my other individuals behind. I stopped marketing so much individuals because the season is different. Okay, because a lot of people are going to come naturally because the market is open. So I don't have to put so much marketing out there to be like, hey, come get this, come get that. Like you're already there, you're already looking for me. I'm here, I'm everywhere. But the corporations that I want to work with, now I have a little bit more time to reach out to those large
Yeah,
corporations and really, really hone into those contracts. Because if I get one contract with a corporation for $500,000 for the year, you think I'm gonna be worried about all this others. No, I'm just going to be focused on my Paris Hilton strategy, which every time she shows up, they pay her $1 million. So, I just think that at the end of the day, we have to make the demand and we have to be in
yeah.
position to know what we want and go after it. Other than that, we'll constantly go back and forth on, how
No,
people
you're,
do that.
you're, you're, you're very right. And also understanding that, there's a season for everything. Personally, I just said to them, you know what, I love repurposing basically. I call myself a queen of repurposing because the truth is I believe that, there's everything from everything, right? And so when I said to them, you know what, I have designed the challenge in such a way that there's an aftermath of the challenge, they were like, wow, really? And I'm like, oh well, yeah, like literally it's so designed. It feels like a course, right? And I got somebody, like I have like three people register after the challenge for it, and they're like, oh my gosh, they see so much information. They said they're able to build their mastermind just from it. And I'm like, okay, you know what, officially I'm literally going to leave this up. And then when you feel like getting your 5-day challenge, just go take it and enjoy till till we come back to this, okay? But to your take the last time, I feel like it's important that do it, right? I see a couple of people, like, it's so easy for us to say that we are mentors, we are consultants, we are experts, we are this, we are that. We can do it for everyone. It's the same way when you say I can make hair for people, but you see, not everybody that make hair for others can make hair for themselves. Now it's
Ooh.
an extra, yeah, you've not noticed it? I've noticed it, and it's an
Mhm.
extra vibe when you can do certain things that you do for others, for yourself. Y'all, I'm not just saying this, I'm telling you because I'm proud of myself. Like, literally, I sold out my ticket, like all of it, right? And it was on sale. Okay, it's not, it wasn't a free challenge. So um I'm proud of myself, even though I know that can't you see my eye? My eye looks like somebody that needs to sleep for like the next 2 weeks. New 2 weeks. But it was worth it. Allegra, please have me put up my screen. I think it's stable now. But it
Okay,
was
hold
worth
on.
it.
Because
Yeah, the
okay,
other
hold
one.
on. Go ahead. Keep talking. I gotta get my charger. Y'all keep talking. Y'all keep
Okay.
talking. Hold on. I'm putting it up.
All
I'm
right.
putting it up.
Okay. Okay. Um, Hold on. All right. So but it was really amazing, right? And that's why I'm so proud of myself. It was a different kind of feel for me, really. Knowing that I could pull it off myself, for myself. It's so easy to get to do it for somebody else. It's not easy to do for yourself. The laziness, the procrastination, the fact that you tell yourself, should I do this? I have clients to work with. I have to. Am I supposed? Is it necessary? It was necessary for me, and I pulled it off. And literally, because I pulled it off, and it was super successful. Um, I would tell you that I was able to pat myself on the back and tell myself, girl, you're good. Forget what people are saying. The fact that you'll call and say, okay, you know what, TC, you're good, TC, you're amazing. Literally, I told myself on Friday, girl, you're good. Right? And that meant a whole lot to me. But Allegra is here now. So let's go back to our post, right? Our top performing post for the past 28 days compared to last month. Now, this is what I realized, right? LinkedIn loves a good content, right? Especially when you're trying to qualify your leads, right? So for me, this month was more like a launch period for me, right? So I was running on a launch, so it was more targeted content. It was not, I wasn't pushing out content for awareness. I was pushing out more decision making and consideration content, right? If you're wondering what she's saying, that's why you need your content strategy, okay? Um, Now, and those posts were basically it for me. Now, those posts was to guide them into making a decision and, getting certain about their consideration. And what I also realized is that TC needs to do more engaging, right? Um, and engagement on LinkedIn needs intentionality and strategy. So I saw that now with your engagement is going to expand your reach. Engagement is going to bring you clients when done right. Now, why I'm hitting on this is the fact that I saw a post, somebody like screen did a screenshot of his comment, and apparently some people feel like using AI to send comments. Now you see that there are like in that uh, I'll try and show you the look for the post. So they had like the same comment, Allegra, from almost 7 different people, meaning All of them were using the same AI tool, and it was so annoying. Like, it was so annoying. Like, hey, this thing we are saying is LinkedIn is not like Instagram. You can't just get away with certain things, right? Now, depending on who that person is, you're likely to get blocked, right? Because LinkedIn needs originality, it needs authenticity. Okay. Now, if you can't engage because you don't have time, get a human to who understands your vision, who understands your brand, who understands your brand voice, to be able to engage on your behalf. Okay. um get someone who is able to embody your brand, or better still, it's your business. It's the same way when you have like walking store, for example, and then you open your office every day, and then you sit pretty in your office waiting for your clients. It's the same thing with social media, right? Now, when you use social media for your business, just designate 30 minutes a day. Okay, 30 minutes a day will do so much for you. Like, you'll be shocked how much it's going to like up level your business. So between 30 to 1 hour a day. Now, I'm not that person that would tell you do it in the morning at certain time. Do it your time, do you, right? Do it your time, but just make sure that between 30 to an hour, you can do it on your own. Now, this is not me saying don't get somebody. Obviously, I have a VA agency, so well, I don't mind if you come meet me and say, oh, TC, that's different. But the truth is, you want to learn how to do it first. Okay, I always like it when business owners, especially when you're in one man business, you're an individual running a business, you want to be able to know what happens at the back end of your business. And that's why I'm going to say, the same way you open your shop, or you open your store, or you open your spa, or you open whatever you have, or you open your office and you go to your office, you sit down, you start to get your visitors or clients. It's the same way. Just sit pretty on LinkedIn every like 30 to 1 hour. Do your engagement, do those quality engagement, right? Reach out to people, connect with people, increase your what's the name again? Increase your level of connections, right? Um, say, meaningful, or rather give meaningful comments in people's posts, because the same they will do for you, right? Unfollow people, and I know you're not ready for this, but unfollow people, disconnect with people. That's part of the engagement. Disconnect with people that do not bring anything valuable to, if they're not bringing the right people, right? If they're not connecting you with the right people, if they're not bringing the right engagement, hey, disconnect them, right? If you need to unfollow them, unfollow them. Okay, that's part of it. You want to make sure that you spend such an amount of time. Now, I would not necessarily say that I was true to this preaching of mine, but I would say that for every single time I sit my butt down and I spend between 30 to 1 hour out of my 24 hours, knowing fully well that LinkedIn is not just a lead generation tool for me, it's a sales conversion tool for me. I always get tangible and profitable results. So if I can get results, I don't see a reason why you shouldn't get results, right? So that's that part. So let me just rush through because I want Allegra to get to show hers as well. So let me do my audience. Okay, so we have audience here. So for
So
I
what do
did
we have
a
percentage for? What's the percentage for audience?
okay,
Let me see.
4.6%.
Okay, 4.6% for your followers. So okay, you went up, TC. What was you
Yeah,
doing?
I did.
Going through your email list?
What? Go on.
I
You
said, what
said
did you
what?
do? Go through your email list?
Go through my email. Is that?
I said, I said, where do all these followers come from?
Oh, I like where you're making me laugh too much. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to save my laugh for the week. You're making me laugh too
TC
much.
got tricks. We're trying to figure out what trick did TC use to get. Because look,
No,
listen.
so
As TC speaking, I'm looking at numbers now because now I'm nervous. I'm like, wait a minute, what did that say? Like, so I'm looking at numbers now. Numbers don't lie, and I'm like, I don't like that number because it looked a little bit higher than what I thought I got. So go ahead, TC. Let's
okay,
go.
so yeah, but for the audience, like I said, this month I feel like why, because my goal really was to get to 2,000 this month, but I realized that I didn't want to get distracted, because my goal was to sell the ticket for the challenge, right? Was to launch the challenge and focus on the challenge. No, I can't hear you, Allegra. Was to launch the challenge and focus on the challenge. So I wasn't really big on growing the followers. However, for next month, just piggyback to the competition we had this month, for next month, I will be very big on, growing my following. So fingers crossed. Okay. But I feel like engagement, getting into people's spaces was, what literally helped me a lot, because I don't spend as much time as I should on my LinkedIn as much as I spend on my clients, right? On my clients' pages or accounts. Um, but I'm going to be very intentional, especially for next month, because next month is going to be more of awareness for something I'm working on next. So yeah, so that was it basically. And what happened on the 16th? Yo, I don't know what happened on the 16th. I can't remember, but I'm going to try. I'm going to check, because whatever that happened on the 16th, I want it to keep happening. I want it to keep happening. It has to be on a repeat. It has to be on a repeat. So my demographics is still good.
But that's the beauty though. Like you can see that and keep doing it.
Yeah, that's what I plan on doing. I just want to keep doing what I did on the 16th, because whatever I did on the 16th was super amazing, and I just want to keep doing it. But I'm loving my demographics because I'm still on track, and it's not easy, right? To stay on track like this, especially when we all are very moved. So it takes somebody who basically knows what they want from a certain platform to keep their demographics the way they want their demographics, because sometimes we get carried away by, oh my gosh, I want to grow the numbers, and then we start to attract um, the wrong set of people in our spaces. But aside from that, it doesn't still mean that you can't grow. Like, you can literally, there's this kind of mind that grew from, I think she grew from like 800 to about, I think, 1,700, right? And that was all based off, she did that within 30 days, and that was all based off from, engagement and all of that. So you can double what you currently have. Okay, you can triple it, you can grow, you can boost your engagement. You just need to be ready to put in the work. That's what it really all sums up. And also pay attention to your data, like we are breaking down right now, just so that you are intentional with the results that you want for yourself. So that's it from me. You're all. It's been an amazing journey with Allegra, and so I will be passing the mic to Allegra. Okay.
So I guess I'll take the mic. I guess I'll have it now. So I'll share my screen because TC, I loved it. I do enjoy this. I'm excited that we're going to go over to, I think, Instagram next to make sure that we kind of cover different areas of our data. This is something that you can all do too. Like, we don't do this just because we want to have fun by ourselves. We want y'all to join in on your own fun. Like, have your own challenges, do your own competitions with your partners. TC and I, we're really working on our partnership, and that's all part of building relationships too. when you get to know the people that you're working with, how they work, what they're looking at behind the scenes, it just makes it such a better relationship because you can now speak on their behalf sometimes when they're not in the room, let people know what they, can do for them. So I love that, TC. So thanks for going through all that. I want to now share my screen. and and TC, I was over here like, dang, like I think she got me. But I don't know, we might be a little even. Hold on, let me share it. Um, let's see. Oh, okay, here it is. It was taking forever. I don't know if y'all can see this. So TC, let me know if it's delaying or if you can't hear anything. But this
I
is
did.
the analytics part. So I just, you see it? Let me see. You said you see it? Oh, okay. Oh, I just figured out how to go back and forth. Okay, y'all, listen. TC showed me the share screen last time. I played with it a little bit, but now I'm just like getting eased into it. So that's why. So I'm finding out new little things that I like. All right. So as I'm, looking at this, right, you can see that my numbers are pretty much just steadily growing. If you looked at it from the week before, you'll see a little bit of the differences. But we were looking at percentages, TC. And my thing was when I went to this page, the page that just says overall analytics and things like that, I was so like, oh God, like here we go with the negatives, right? Because we look at that and we automatically think we're not doing a good job. Then I go a little further and I start to look at, where I'm looking at, like you said, be intentional about what kind of data you want and why you want it. Well, I don't want the last 7 days. I want the last like 28 to 30 days. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, show the results because that's what TC had up. And look at that. Impressions, 339% rate increase. Why did that happen? It says right here that on the highest was on April 10th, which was 2 days before my birthday. Wonder what I was doing. And I think that, between, because there were some things that I did intentionally here, TC, when it came down to engagement and getting more, because your impressions come from the people that see your content. So that doesn't necessarily mean they follow you. So if the algorithm is seeing that, just like any algorithm, so let's break this down: Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, everything. LinkedIn has an algorithm because behind the scenes, they have to attract what people are looking for on their sites. Otherwise, people wouldn't stay on. Like, who would stay on Instagram if they weren't shown things that they liked? So they have to show you the things that you like. So if you're posting on their sites and you're posting content like TC's saying, and it's very authentic and it's very you, then they're going to want to support you in finding the audience that wants to see you or your type of content. That helps LinkedIn because it helps them stay more engaged on the app. So it only helps you to push out content that not only that your audience needs to know, but also ask them, like, what do they want to see? And TC, I posted 3 sets of contents. I had a content strategy that focuses on 3 sets of contents. I had a personal content strategy. Well, it wasn't a personal, it was all part of the same strategy, but it was personal content, right? So you saw different posts that regards to my birthday, to like things that I was doing behind the scenes of the business. Then you have the content for the challenge. So you saw the competition where you would see, and TC, I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not want to work really hard. Like I had a lot of things I had to do with my clients, so I didn't want to work really hard. And TC, you had the challenge, but I didn't have a challenge. Okay, I didn't have to, so I already had enough on my plate. So guess what I did? I scheduled out all of the content for the week. So from that last Saturday, TC, with regards of like some of the pop-up content, I scheduled a lot of that out. So I didn't have to go on every day and check and post. And I literally didn't even hardly go on LinkedIn this week at all, TC. I mean, I barely even had the app on my phone. And it's because I really wanted to make sure that I, focused on my clients. Number one, it was a very, very long week. When was taken over because we have the conference coming up. So I'm signing contracts and getting deals done, right? So I have a lot on my plate. I didn't want to spend a lot of time having to post. And when people go, well, I don't have a lot of time to post, so I won't post, is not an excuse. And I wanted to use this as an example of that. So you see that my impressions was 339% increase in the last 28 days. And I told y'all that that was going to be pretty high because I hadn't been on LinkedIn as much as TeeCee has. TeeCee has had a long track record of consistency on LinkedIn. So when someone comes in and they haven't been posting for a really long time or they haven't been as active and they start posting in 30 days, of course their increase is going to be super high because you weren't doing anything. So I saw that, yeah, my 339% increase was very high, but I also looked at what was making it increase. Like to TC's point, when I looked at some of those lines going up, like on the 10th, I'm going to do the same thing that TC's going to do. I'm going to go back to the 10th, find out what that was, why people were looking, because these are impressions. This means that this went out to people who weren't even following me. So the more people that they see it, the more they'll come push out when people actually like look at it, take time, because they can tell how many seconds someone actually watches a video, how much time someone spends on a post. That matters. And so if they know that people are spending more time looking at your post, that's why you can do a reel and do a 3-second reel with the same words on it, and it will loop, and you will get more of your content pushed on the algorithm on Instagram. We'll talk about this next month, but you'll get more content pushed out on Instagram because you looped it in a 3-second format with the same words. Because what are they doing? They're reading it. They're reading it. Guess what else you can do to make them stay on longer? You can put more content in the captions, because if you put captions down, which tells you all this information that they have to read, what are they going to do? They're going to read it while your reel is playing. So every time we look at content, we have to look at what kind of effect do we want, right? And so I'm looking at that TC now that we've gotten to this point, right? From next month, I see like what I need to improve on in my LinkedIn strategy. I'm going to use more videos. I'm going to start reposting some of my content, repurposing some of my content, because I see what my audience is looking for. They're like, oh, I like that. That's good. That helped me. The live streams are a big component to that, TC, and people don't realize that if you're not doing live streams, then a lot of times people aren't engaged with you as much, because people need to see movement. They need to see action. They need to see like the ability to be in touch with you. And if they can't, if they don't feel that they can have that connection with you in the beginning, and that's why a lot of times we'll put out like a lead generation, like a freemium or a free trial, or sign up for the subscription for free. Like we do that not because we just want to give out free stuff. We do it because we know that people really want to get into the space to get to know more. They really need to, because there's so many other people that's trying to be TC, but they got to figure out who's the real TC, who is the real person that's going to give me the results, not the people talking about it. So when I look at that, I say, well, what is my data really telling me to do then? And I just wanted to break that down, y'all, so you can actually, you can have time to post your data. You can create a strategy that's going to have a multiplied effect to it, that you can actually post some of your personal content so people get to know you. You can post some of your business content so that people get to understand what the heck is going on in your business. And you can also post partner content. You can post community content. You can post all types of things. But you got to realize and understand what people are looking for before you know why you're posting. So I figured out more, TC, throughout this process of what my audience was looking for more. So I really love that. And then when I go over to, hold on, let me go down. Let me look at these. So top performing posts. Look at this one. Me and my mom. This was I think this top performing one last week too, or a week before. I can't remember, but me and my mom are standing in this picture, and all I'm doing is talking about, my life, right? Like what I feel, like how I address situations. That's all. And people are learning more about me. They're engaging, they're applying, and majority of these people, if you look at them, I know majority of these people. So I'm giving them an opportunity to get more into my space. And if I wanted to, y'all, and I know that this is really good content, I can do content like this, and I can put new content on there as I go, right? But there's going to be a point in time where I may want to repost this. So I don't even have to go back and rewrite an entire thing. I can just repost it and add whatever ad lib I want to it. And that's going to give me a better, view on like how can I increase those impressions, because they're already there, but now I get to maximize on the content. So I wanted to like show that part too, because sometimes we forget that we've already posted a lot of stuff, like a lot. And if we don't honor the fact that just because we did it once doesn't, like, it's like if you have a pair of clothes and you only wear it one time, like that doesn't make sense. You should be posting and reposting, and getting the results. And so that's what we're doing here. We're just looking at how you can maximize on the results. Let me go back to the numbers, y'all, because they just listen. They just took me all out of my entire element. Hold on, y'all. So we were, I believe, under. What did I do? Let me go back. It's telling me I have a high CPU usage, so it's giving me some issues. TC, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hold on, let me see. Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure because it's telling me I have a high CPU usage. Okay, so I'm just going to continue and go back to that particular screen, like I was talking about, and I'm going to go over to. I think we were under impression, so I think we have next. What's going on? Why is my screen acting up like this? All right, give me 1 second.
So I can see.
Telling me I'm having some. It's giving me issues.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just giving me issues, y'all. Give me a second, TC. This area is like the worst because I live a little bit close to the airport. I'm not at the airport, but I literally can feel the plane fly over my house. That's how close I am. All right. So, um, why isn't it taking me to my numbers? Okay, hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me stop the screen share because I think my computer is blocking out for some reason. So let me just stop the share. Oh, it did stop. Okay. Well, while it's doing its thing, y'all. So basically, we're in this this phase, right? Where if you were in the marketing, you've been running your business for however long, you get to actually look at what's happening in your business, not listen to what someone tells you is in your business, but we're teaching you how to physically look into it. And that's going to be really important for you. The reason why I love this part is because as a business coach, I have prided myself on teaching my clients. Like it's one thing to tell you what to do, it's another thing to also teach you what to do. TC, I'm sure you appreciate that too. Because if I teach you how to fish, then you'll never have to come back to me asking me for a plate. And I don't need to feed people forever. Like I want you to build so you can teach someone else. So this is kind of where we are coming from this place of learn your data, understand what it's telling you, and the better you do that, the more equipped and the more confident you're going to be. And that's really what we're doing here. All right, let me try this one more time, TC, because it's still delaying on me. Let's see. Why is it giving me a heart? Why does it want me to be great? Okay, you know what? All right, here we go. All right, and I can connect my screen again. Okay, here we go. And it should be coming right back up for y'all. So let me switch over. And we're running out of time. We're well over time, but I will quickly finish this and give you all an opportunity to ask us questions. We will end with some call to actions for you, and then get on with the night. Um, and make sure that you can see this. All right, perfect. So when we look at the past 28 days, let's go back to where we were. And the impressions we saw, and we saw some of those impressions and how they look based on what people liked to see. So they like to see you. They like to see you in your most authentic everyday. Like, what are you really doing? Don't show me the glamour. Then you can go to engagements. Engagements is really more so like how TC's talking about, like how much they're liking your stuff, how much they share it, right? Like, because if your impressions are really people that see it, and they don't necessarily have to like or engage, like they don't have to like or share or do anything. They can just see it, right? So your impressions is really showing you who's interested, but who's not active. When you go to your content performance under engagements, ooh, write that down. I'm sorry, TC, but I love it when I put these numbers in place, put these numbers in their place. So even though it's very low as far as content performance and number of engagements, if you can see clearly, I wasn't engaging at all before then because my percentage went up 758%. That's huge. And that means that I started actively engaging, not just, hey, oh, look, TC, whatever that post was that got the most impressions also got the most engagements. So that's also another part that's very, very knowing. And that's something that I think people need to realize too. Once one part of your once one part of your data goes up when it comes to your posting and your content, other parts of your data goes up as well, right? So, like for example, when I have a viral reel, because I have a lot of them, when I have a viral reel that speaks to what I know my audience wants and speaks to me, what I know throughout that sales funnel, y'all, you can do the same thing on LinkedIn. If you find something that people really, really enjoy, like I remember reading the whole life of Steve Jobs and what he did, what he said on his deathbed. Oh man, that was a huge post, right? People want to hear about things like that. People want to hear about stories, business owners, businesses, brands, right? They want to understand, like, what can I do in my company and my job that's going to help me get to another level, right? So people need this information here because these are all professionals on LinkedIn. But I really want to say that once you improve one part of your post, one part of your strategy, the other parts will grow with it. And when I looked at the impressions of these places, TC, I also looked at the engagement. And if the impressions are high, so is the engagement. If and as if the engagement is high and the impressions are high, then guess what else follows? The followers. So then you start to see people go, oh, that's nice. I like that. Let me follow. Because you're reaching more and more people as you're growing your content and as you're posting more content. So it is kind of an equation to it once you master what your equation is, technically, if you look at it like that. But you have to understand what is yours to do. So the first thing, TC, we said before we even really got into this competition was, why are we doing it? Right? So our post this month, you got 2 sales. I don't even remember how many sales I got from this month. All I know is that we both got sales from LinkedIn because we decided to go on this journey of competing with each other and showing y'all what it looks like when we do the work. And because we did the work, you see how we had fun, but we also made money. And I think that when you get your focus off of so much of the action of, oh, I got to make money today, or I got to do the marketing strategy, or I got to make the phone call. Like when you get out of your head about all the to-dos and you start to figure out, well, why am I doing it first of all? Because when people come to me about their data, about their marketing strategies, about their business plans, they're like, well, tell me what to do. And I'm like, why? like why do you want to do it first? Like, tell me why you want to do it. Because in order for me to tell you what to do or how to do it, I got to really understand that your heart is in it and you really want to do it for the right reasons. A lot of times we're not doing it. So while you are post because you want to get results. Whatever those results are, make sure you have a defined goal or measure behind that. Because I didn't have a measure or a goal, but I knew that the point was to beat TC, right? Like I didn't have a measure on my actual numbers. Like I didn't say I wanted to be at 5,000 followers at the end of the month, but my goal was to beat TC. So have something that gets you in a place of strategy, momentum, and use other people that motivate you. TC is the right person. I'm gonna tell y'all, she was not picked by accident. I chose TC for a specific reason because I knew there's not many people also, and there's nothing you want to look at because I'm talking from a business coaching standpoint, y'all. I'm not playing. There are some people that you just cannot compete with. There are some people you cannot partner with. There are some people you cannot do business with. There are some people you just can't. And we have to be very limited with the way that we're accessible in our business as well, because a lot of times we're just kind of mimicking how we feel and we're just taking it to the business streets, whereas your business allows people to have a gateway in accessing the value that you're offering. So at the end of the day, y'all, like there's just so many ways to think about this, but have fun, understand why you are looking at your data so it doesn't feel so daunting and overwhelming. And then if you're confused and if you feel like this is a lot and I just don't even feel like doing it, like this is just not even my area, then the beauty is that you have TC. She'll work on it for you. She'll tell you what the data looks like, but you don't have to pay her, and you're going to have to make sure that you have a guided mindset around what you
Love
want
that.
to do.
I love that last part.
And that's with anyone. Like figure out what you want before you just start. She said, "Pay me." But we're gonna end here because we all like to get paid. Listen, I think that it's funny because as women entrepreneurs, we have to get used to building our relationship with money. We have to get used to that. There are too many of us that don't have a great relationship with money, and the fact that we don't have a great relationship with money, when people say let's talk about money, we know you don't have a great relationship because y'all disappear. Like it's like y'all just go away and it'd be like, wait, hold on, let's talk about it. So I really want to start because we did financial literacy month last month. Shout out to Toria who actually did a full win conversation throughout the month. I want to continue it because a lot of this is really where people struggle. Numbers. People struggle with numbers. And one last thing I want to say, TC, because this is where people have it twisted, and I get it, but I'm not going to stand back on it because at the end of the day, people need to understand what the truth of the matter is. Want to be an entrepreneur, right? But guess what? You need to do both. You need to market it, you need to sell it. Like at the end of the day. So whether you want the business, or whether you don't want the business, you still have to apply the same principles. The only difference is you want to hire people and get an S corp or C corp opposed to a sole prop, or LLC. Entrepreneurship is kind of like the I can wing it however I want to wing it. If I want to do this, I'll do that. If I want to do that, you're very carefree, but you also still have to have structure. And I want people to understand that because there are lots of entrepreneurs out there that own hundreds of businesses under their belt. So they still have to know, how that works. And so let's not pretend that you don't need these things because you don't want to have a business. And the only reason why I'm saying this, TC, is because someone actually said this to me this week. And they were like very indignant about it. Like, Allegra, you always talking about a business, but everybody don't want to have a business. Okay, well, become an entrepreneur, but you're still going to need what I'm telling you. Like, regardless, even when it comes to personal growth, right? A lot of people struggle with transitioning from a 9 to 5 into what they want to do, whether it's building their own business or being an entrepreneur or a side hustle, whatever it is. They struggle with that. But guess what's going to help you transition? Knowing business principles, understanding how to organize your time, discipline yourself, right? Read books, educate yourself on things that are going to help you understand your audience, your market. Like these are things you have to know. So this is just something I wanted to bring to the
Like,
forefront because these numbers are telling a lot.
no, no. I just wanted you to pause on that thought because you were saying that regardless of what you want to have or maybe what you want to do after your 95, you want to apply those business principles. And then I remember that some people be like, okay, you know what? I just want to be a stay-at-home mom. Like even if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, those business principles still apply to you, right? It's still applied to you, whether you like it or not, because your kids are, they are a different kind of, journey you want to be very intentional with. I feel like, nurturing, raising kids is more of a handful business than the business you think you have. Trust me. And so it's all the same thing. Like Allegra said, it's still same business principles you want to apply. Okay, so I wanted to say that. Over to you. Bye. Bye.
Okay, thank you, TC. Because I was going to say even a marriage is a business, but I'll let that go. I'll be quiet. So I'm going to go over to the screen again. So obviously you can see that the post performance for content is good. And then let's go over to the audience real quick and let's see what's going on with them. The audience looks like for the past 28 days, see if I have increased in followers. And I have about 2.3%. So I didn't increase that much, but I increased. So that's all that matters. It looks like on the 14th is where I had more followers, about 8 new followers on the 14th. So now I have to figure out what I did on the 14th and the 10th that increased my impressions, engagement, and following. And this is interesting because I did say that your followers will increase as your impressions and engagements increase. But I think my impressions and engagements was on the 10th. So if you look at my following, it went up, it stayed consistent, and then it dropped, and then boom. So,
Big.
and one thing I do notice, TC, is that this was right at my birthday. This is my birthday weekend. So 12th and the 13th, like I wasn't doing anything on that day, right? Like I was literally trying to stay away. And I had, I think the events, the bell bottoms and Bellini's event, but it looks like I just didn't have any engagement. I didn't have any new followers. Well, I don't look at the engagement, but any new followers that day. So it could have made up on this day. That's interesting. Look at those law of averages. So what I need to do, y'all, is I need to work on engaging more with people and talking more about what I do in their comments. And the reason why I say that is because when people see you in other people's comments that they know and that you know as well, they're more inclined to follow you. Like it's so much easier than, posting an ad to get new followers or posting every day, all throughout the day to get new followers. Like comment on other posts because I did that and that's how I got most of these new followers. And also the other part was that I put out an ad. Well, actually, no, I didn't put it out. I had an ad already out. So if you don't know about ads here on LinkedIn, you can recruit. I recruit interns every quarter, and with that ad, it actually increased my exposure. It boosted the impressions, and it also it helped increase my followers because the interns that were coming through the program, people that they were talking to, they were posting on their pages. All that added up to those followers, that those impressions, those engagements. And then the one thing I love too much, y'all, is that I get to look through all these little areas and say, "Ooh, who's looking? Who's engaging with me?" And when I looked at my demographics and I looked at the company sizes, TC, I was like, "Oh, I need to get this up." Because majority, the top companies that I work that are looking at me are between 1 to 10 employees. And usually those are like sole proprietors, one person businesses, LLCs, and they don't hire, right? They don't really hire. Like you don't have a company here that says 0 employees or just one. So most companies in this category are not going to be hiring right now. If they're, if they are, they're in the beginning stages. And see, I have an inclination that because you got to also look at the market and how people hire and when they hire because it goes with their fiscal year. When it comes to companies, I know a lot of that information. So I'm now looking at this and saying, okay, I need some of this percentage to be here at this 10,001 employees section. I need the 7.9 to be the 19.1 or the 7.3, 7.9 to be like the 20, whatever. I need this to go up. And And so there's going to be some strategizing that I'm going to do that's going to help me look at this and say, well, which companies are in my audience that that are these companies, and then I'm going to start engaging with them, because the more that you engage with those companies, the more you get. So I think that that really inspires me, TC. It makes me feel good about the direction that I want to grow in. It makes me feel good about May because I already have an inclination of what I'm going to do for my strategy. And this is another part of it, and I'll end with this, is that a lot of times we get very boggled down by always having to have something well put together and all put together, and oh, I don't have my strategy for the year. So what? Myself, and TC just did a whole competition for 28 days, and now we have a strategy for next month. And you could do that every month if you want. You don't have to push it and make it so that it is this big thing where you are so overwhelmed by what you put in place that you can't even take action or the first step. So I'm really excited. TC, I don't know who won. Who won? Did I win? It's a tie, y'all. At this point, it's a tie. Cause
So,
TC beat me in followers. I beat her in impressions and engagement. She
oh
but
my
listen,
lord!
but listen, it's kind of unfair because TC, you've been consistent and I just that, you know?
But I would say that I would say it's a win-win, for both parties, because at the end of the day, we weren't able to only create, you know, a mapped out plan for our next steps. We were able to also get to teach people what they need to know, because the truth is, these are basically the things that you know some people might get to charge you thousands for, and you are seeing it, because you see, these are basic information you can translate into money. Data is money, right? Once you're able to understand the data in your business, you're able to translate it to other things, right, for your business, in your business. And so I feel like it's a win-win for us. It's a win for us, it's a win for you. It's a win for everyone that takes our time to follow through with all of the live streams. Personally, it has also helped me stay even more intentional, right? And I feel like, that's all I'm going to say. Like, it's a win for everyone. We just want to ensure that you are able to not just take all of this for granted, like literally implement it in your business. We're getting into a new month, okay? May. Now is your time to sit down and go through your data, work your data. Allegra was saying that you don't really need like a full-on 1 year strategy. What I want to tell you in addition to that is that your strategy should be flexible. Okay. It could switch up. All right. Because we are human beings. We're evolving. Things are happening. You are getting more exposed. You're getting more enlightened. You're developing as an individual, as a brand, and so your growth should not be limited. Okay. You need a strategy. You need a roadmap. Okay. But it just doesn't necessarily mean that you can't switch up one or two things. But for you to switch up one or two things, what this means is that you already have a strategy, you already have a roadmap. That's why you can switch these things up. So, my point is, we are in alignment saying get yourself a strategy, but we are also in alignment saying you should be flexible. You should work your strategy. You should help your strategy to help you, right? By implementing and making sure that it gets you work. Because if you don't implement your strategy, you won't get results. Even if you have the most amazing strategy in the entire world, it's only going to be amazing and powerful only when you implement it. Okay, that's it from me. Yeah, legacy data competition in May on IG. Okay, let's do it. Instagram. Oh wow.
Now this you can't kick my butt in, TC, because I'm on IG now. If you beat me on IG, it's a whole problem. So we're definitely gonna be competitive there because listen, there's just so much you can do, right? And I think like this is one of the things that I run into because we also in my business, AJ CEO Business Coaching Group, we also do social media management. People don't realize that a lot of times when you're running your business, you have to first of all have your real estate set up for your social media, and then you have to look at that real estate and say which platforms do I really need to be on first. And then once you decide on where your audience is and where those platforms are, it could be, we only do three, right? We only start with three. So it could be LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, it could be LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, whatever, right? And when you set up your social media accounts, like you have to test things out first. You have to see like, what kind of content do I really want to share here? And what I found a lot of times when clients come to us in the beginning of their social media strategy setup is they're already trying to figure out what days they're going to do topics on. And I'm like, what? Like, wait a minute. So you literally already are trying to create an entire strategy on day one. Like your social media is just social media. And just because, you see other people doing things like Motivation Mondays and Twist All Tuesdays doesn't mean that it's for you. I've literally set up my clients to be authentically who they are, post what matters to them and their audience and their clients, and they got results. There is no, there's no hidden secret of like, you got to do it this way and this is going to matter. So, really, I think this competition is going to be really cool because it's going to be I'm going to go live a lot, TC. I don't know about you, but I really have a lot to say to people about, using reels, doing video content, using hashtags, and actually creating content that's not just entertaining. Because let me tell you, some of y'all accounts on IG are boring. And I know that people want to be like, like TC, to your point, I love TC's account because TC will mesh. I love your strategy, by the way. TC will mesh something crazy and funny and ridiculous that matches her personality and uniquely who she is. And she will put it in the format of a business conversation. And that's her, right? And this is something that she has mastered in the way that she can, create this type of energy for her and her audience. We understand it. We come back for more. So if TC was just, out there posting what other people post and saying what they say and saying, oh, whatever, people wouldn't resonate with it as much, right? TC always uses branded colors. You always see the red. You never really see TC post anything without red. And I think that's fabulous because when you have a consistent coloring strategy or brand strategy with your brand colors, it's going to illuminate everything that you do. And so I cannot wait because May, TC, we might have to just, because we're going to be going live on Sundays too on the Instagram channel. But I may have to pull you in a couple of pop-ups in the middle of it because sometimes I see some things on social media and I'm like, we got to talk about this because that's horrible, right? But I also talk about the good too. So I'm not going to be, petty all month long with y'all. I'm just going to talk about some good and some bad. And I think that it's going to help a lot of us. Only thing I want to say is just for that in May, okay? What I want y'all to do to join us on the data competition in May, I want y'all to follow us. TC, is that your tag? Did that right, or is it OBM dot OBM? Is that
This one,
OBM?
this one is for
Okay.
links.
So
Dot for Instagram.
is it TC.OBM?
Yeah.
All right, 1 second, y'all. All right, so make sure y'all follow myself and TC. And this is the thing: when you guys come on and you engage with us and you show us that you're paying attention, we see you. Like we see the people who are reaching out, who are talking to us, who are engaging, who are saying, "This helped me." I love when I get those messages, TC, when people are like, "Oh my God, that conversation y'all had." And one thing that who said this? I think it was mm, if you go to Untamed Aromas on Instagram, you'll find her account. She basically made a comment on our live one time, and then she actually reached out to me on Instagram Instagram, and she was like, I could tell TC just really cares. I could tell she really cares about us. And I just want to be bold like that. Like, I just love that. So there are things that people are, constantly looking at and saying, like, they're watching. They're watching. And we have to be very mindful of how we show up, who we're showing up for. And so when I see that on multiple channels, I just told y'all she saw us on LinkedIn and she went to reach out to me on Instagram. Okay. So when we say, oh, all of my audience is on one channel or all of my audience, you don't know where they are. Okay. That's why it's important to be in the places where most of them are first, market to them, and then start to bring things over to other channels and see if they're there too. Because it's just going to maximize your opportunity to meet their friends and other acquaintances that want what you have too. So I just wanted to give the example, TC, because we're going to be doing this for a while. I feel like data competition really helps me stay motivated about what it is that I need to stay focused on. I hope it's doing the same for you, TC, because at the end of the day, I'm going to always win on playing. I can't even be mad at TC beating me because she's a worthy opponent. It's like when somebody kills you and you're like, oh, this is such a great death. She's such a worthy opponent. If I die in this data competition, y'all, it's worth the death. But I just really appreciate you for doing it because it's not easy. It's not easy to compete. It's not easy to be in a place where you feel challenged a lot. But here's one thing I will say: it doesn't even matter if it's business. It's in life in general. If you feel like you're going to run away from a challenge, then that's what you're going to do in life, right? You got to be able, especially if you're running a business, you got to be able to put yourself in position to be ready to take the challenge at will. That's why a lot of times we miss out on opportunities because we're like, I don't know. I don't like challenges. I'm not competitive. You do not have to be competitive. You do not have to like competition in order to put yourself in a position to be challenged. Don't wait for what do I say? Oh God, the universe is putting me through something again. I don't know what y'all be talking about, but don't wait for whatever y'all waiting for. Okay? Because at the end of the day, if you sit there and you allow things to happen, right? Then because God in the universe, God owns the universe, y'all. He's not putting you through nothing. He's not putting you through nothing. He's literally watching you put yourself through stuff. He's watching you self-sabotage. He's watching you trip over your own toes and then blame him for it. So at the end of the day, let's just be very responsible about how we are showing up, how we are doing the work. And TC, I cannot wait. I cannot wait until next month. And let's end with this. What's happening for Mother's Day?
Oh, so personal wise, well, I'm just gonna chill, just chill, nothing much. But business wise, so I'm working on an audit, not done yet, trying to figure it out. But I'm working on an audit for mothers in business, for moms in business. So it's going to be an audit. So it could be like a launch audit or a systems audit or a funnel audit. But I'll let you all know. But it's going to be an audit for moms in business. Now, my goal is basically to help other moms understand that this thing is not easy. So I'm not going to come here and tell you it's easy, right? It's not easy, but you know what? It's possible, right? And I want to support you because you motivate me to want to keep doing what I'm doing. So as much as I can support you, I'm happy to support you. And just so you know, the audit is going to be complimentary, meaning it's going to be like literally free, right? And this is just me wishing every mother a happy Mother's Day. Hopefully my boys isn't going to stress me so much because it feels like almost every Mother's Day, like it's always beautiful, but the only thing is I just come back home with sore body and so much because they're like, mommy, mommy, and those boys are very strong, and so they're like, oh, and then they just come out, all your body's like aching, and it feels like, oh my gosh, why did I did that again? So I don't know if I'm going to be up for that, So fingers crossed. You just never know.
It's okay. I love when you post pictures about your family. And your boys are so adorable. And there's one picture I think I saw with you, your boys. I don't think you posted this on social media, but I did see it in the background somewhere because we have portals, y'all. So we get to see content with our win leaders and win members. Sometimes y'all don't get to see. And TeeCee was in the car and like she's with her husband and like her boys are in the back, just like peeping up and smiling. And I just love that. And I love that we get to share that. So happy early Mother's Day. I'm actually going to be doing the same. I'm going to be putting out complimentary content for complimentary opportunity. So I have 5 slots for my mommy and me sessions. And these are sessions that I am giving complimentary. They're not charged. They're our session, and it's for a mom and their child, right? So if you have a daughter, son that really wants to be in business and you're in business or you're trying to get in business and you feel, like maybe you're a little stuck. And the only reason why I do this is because I know this is an issue. I know this is something that people struggle with a lot. And there's a disconnect between how parents explain business to their children and how children understand business in general and the way that their parents are doing it. So I really want to bridge some of that gap. I want to get an understanding also about what it is that are the challenges that a lot of moms and their kids are having with building businesses because to be honest with you, the 9 to 5 mindset has always been there, but now people are realizing that that is a stuck mentality. So, learning business and understanding what that means is important. But most importantly, I want to do it for the moms and I want to do it for the moms and their kids so that they can get clarity. But I only have 5 slots. So if you're interested in that, just DM me and I'll see if you qualify. But I really want to make sure that, we give this season for and we'll be doing more stuff in the wing community, but we give this season to the women who are leading the way. We are having the kids, we are managing the families, we are taking care of the parents and our partners and building the businesses. I do not take that for granted. And I definitely want to keep honoring that because I think sometimes we forget that that's how much is happening because we get used to the struggle. But women are doing a lot. So it is time to kind of get some clarity. Before we get out of here,
Nothing aside from have an amazing week. To us on Instagram. Let's connect on Instagram. Let's be a part of our lives, a part of our businesses. Make sure that you show up so that we can get to connect with you. Personally, I feel like all of this also is for us to get to know each other, right? But if you don't say hi, sometimes we just might not be able to see you. Okay, so make sure you show up on our lives. Make sure you say hi. Make sure you comment because we want to follow you. We want to be a part of your life as well, part of your business, and support you as much as we can. That's it. And I hope you have an amazing week as well.
thank you, TC. All right, thank y'all so much. Have an amazing week, everybody.